This is a video about dealing with incomprehensible evil. Just the kind of evil that is just perpetuating throughout society on many different levels and in many different forms that just is incomprehensible in nature, really. It's so large, it's so widespread, and I want to talk about it because I have ideas regarding it. And if I'm a professional at anything, it's being horribly affected by the problems of our time. So there's people like me who are very often kind of destroyed by the very existence of evil in the world. We can't turn our brain off to it. It demands our attention, and it sort of readjusts the course of our lives to be more focused on ending suffering. This suffering is widespread. It is so far in scope that it's just completely overwhelming. People like me notice it, and sort of all at once. Sometimes it's little bits, but a lot of the times we're just looking at the big picture of everything. And complete overwhelm sets in, followed by maybe a little bit of a mental breakdown, maybe some crying and some screaming, followed by an aggressive need and desire to end this suffering through personal and interpersonal work. Like personal work maybe being, what can we do in our day-to-day life to ensure that we're not contributing to, let's say, exploitation abroad, like buying the right products, buying the right foods, supporting the right companies, that kind of thing. And interpersonal work, I could imagine, is like writing out to your representatives, your government representatives, making videos like this. Anything that kind of reaches out there. And I don't know, I like to think of these two kind of main types of work in life. Interpersonal is like it's reaching out into the world after you've done the internal work, like the boring, sad internal work of trying to make yourself better, trying to cause less harm, I guess. But I suppose I should try to move on with the points I'm trying to get across here. We don't want to turn our brain off to these problems because there's this belief that the world is a material place, a physical place that we as a dominant species have very much control over and very much influence over. And that sounds really broad and a little bit generic or something like that. And it kind of is. And ultimately with my videos, I don't aim to share new ideas, really. I just want to see if I can remind myself and others of just peaceful, good ideas for how we can solve these horrifying problems. Even just talking about this right now, I guess I'm a little bit removed mentally from the actual evil itself, even as I'm talking about it right now, which is a little bit strange. I don't know if this video would be more impactful if I had just read, say, a news story about the latest child, well, I guess I should issue a trigger warning here for, details of abuse and exploitation and any kind of incomprehensible evil you can think of. But like the next news headline for child exploitation, or a pedophile was found to have built a secret lab. Just like some hilarious supervillain type stuff. And seeing those kinds of things, those kinds of headlines, when they do pop up, it does very much affect me. But right now, I'm very happy to be in a state where I'm actually at peace. And it doesn't last too long. But right now, this is a video of peace in a lot of ways, which is a little bit weird. It's kind of out of the ordinary. I like to believe that when all the suffering, when all this evil just dwells on me, it gets so heavy that I'm just forced to be crushed by it. But then it's kind of interesting because my brain just, it resets. It also forces a reset, so to speak, where my brain is just like, all right, we've seen enough. We need to force our body to be happy, to like find something, to find refuge in something good. And actually I've observed that to be a natural process of my body, which is good. It's a normal survival response. So, moving on, I suppose. Given what we're facing with these problems in the world, think about them. The ones that come to mind. I have mine that come to mind, but I don't even want to so much as name them, because they are horrific and life-ruining. And some of them have to do with the, I guess, corruption within leadership, which is a very, how do you say it? It's a very used talking point. It's a very well-spoken, well-traveled path to be talking about such things as like corruption on high levels of society. But we've seen that is part of this evil that is so bad that when you're done crying, it just forces you back into a reset. It forces you to just focus on your day-to-day life, because what the hell are you going to do about it? So I guess I wanted to mention that this can make us end up acting like the Joker, like, from The Dark Knight, like ending up like the Joker. I mean, like, so many times I've just been looking at these problems in the world, and I'm just like, this is comically bad. Like, we have people who, even if they are sincerely motivated and they are sincerely talking from a true place of love, they're still participating in factory farming. And it's just like, it's comical levels of evil if you're somebody like me who chooses to actively participate in life and to actively recognize these things. Because I like to believe that I am choosing an active, participated role in life, where although there is misery to it, first of all, there's misery to any kind of life, right? But although there is misery to it, I am choosing to look at these things and look them in the face. And it's just, oh, like I notice it and I see it, and it's like it's like the Joker. It's just like a little trauma monster, or it's horrible. Like on multiple occasions, I've my brain has genuinely tried to convince me that it's all a joke. Like, and that my priorities should simply be to just go have fun in life. Like, go have fun in sort of a way that's like not harmful necessarily, but just like prioritize fun over trying to do anything good or trying to reduce any harm. Like, you know what I mean? Which isn't the way. That is not the way. And I'll get to this in a minute, but it's not the way. Like, the way of the Joker, or however you want to think of it as, it's not the way, because again, we are the most powerful and impactful species, and it all comes down to such simple and like straightforward and I guess common sense concepts as that. I mean, we know that we are powerful. We know that we are important, regardless of your religion, regardless of evolution, whether it's real, whether God is real, whether morality or free will exists. Like, look at the world around us. It's a material world, and we have power over it. And this is what I notice. I notice these very simple details in life, and they completely overwhelm me. And the second I just see these horrifying systems of abuse threatening what we could have in life, I'm just like, oh my God, what is this? Like, genuinely, what is this life? And very often I am faced with the desire and the motivation to just clock out, just check out, just withdraw my energy, which makes sense. That's also a survival mechanism, which makes sense as a survival mechanism. In fact, I'm gonna get to solutions here in just a second, but I guess I wanted to like briefly shed light on the fact that like I'm trying, like I'm actively choosing not to be the Joker in a way, you know what I mean? And I don't know, in a lot of ways I just want recognition for that, I suppose. And of course, I want everybody else to be on the same page there, and I want everybody else to be doing this too, otherwise it's useless. But yeah, like it's an act of courage for sure to be faced with the problems of our time and to make any kind of good decision after the fact. So, how do we actually handle this? Well, I have some ideas. I have ideas on everything. What do you expect? And here are some things that have worked for me. Like, they've genuinely kind of worked for me, right? So the first thing is knowing that one person is not meant to carry all of it as their responsibility. I think maybe it can be okay to carry all of these problems in your mind for some time to really realize the weight of them and realize how urgent this all is. But ultimately, there are many kinds. Well, there are many communities in the world. There are so many groups of people, and the world is spread out. It's more spread out than my brain is letting me realize when I'm in these horrible moments of just being completely overwhelmed by the evil. What I don't realize in those moments is that the world is spread out. Like, of course we're gonna have so much evil. I guess the individual cases of evil, they're easier to deal with and understand and not be overwhelmed by. the systemic evil, that seems like a little bit different, of course, but yeah, I mean, the world is spread out. So that helps me a lot to realize. And, it's the responsibility of each community and each person, and each day-to-day actions of an individual person. The next thing is knowing that it's okay and perfectly normal to be deeply affected by large-scale problems and everything that I've mentioned. And it's normal to... It's just normal. Like, these things that cause you an existential crisis, like, it's normal to be completely overwhelmed. And it's also normal to just take it deep into your heart and just, like, absorb it. As much criticism as I'll get for saying that and for actually believing that, it's normal, and it is even celebrated in certain religions, like Christianity, where we're called to be Christ-like. And what that can mean in a lot of interpretations of Christianity is taking on the problems of the world. So this can all be good. So I must say that is the second thing that really helps me to know. And I hope to God that it helps you to know as well. The next thing is being generally mindful of the systems that I support and uphold in my day-to-day life, so as to make sure that I'm not accidentally making things worse, right? Being careful of these far-reaching consequences, these consequences that don't occur here in, say, the United States or wherever, but let's say if you buy like a fabric or something, whatever you buy, it's going to be made with the labor of people who are far, far away, so far away. They're in different countries, like these abstract places that, I mean, it's almost hard to fathom, right? It's almost hard to conceptualize that, like, they're just so far away. Like, of course, like, what could I do to what can I do about that? They're so far away. Like, what do you mean there's forced labor or child labor or debt bondage that's enslaving somebody in name any country, right? Any random country. Like, how am I supposed to know? Like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, it's really, what I found is that it's really hard to comprehend these far-reaching consequences. But as an actionable step, right? As another actionable step, being or like actionable recognition is like being generally mindful of what we support and what we uphold with our dollars, our money. Because, of course, like you've heard it said before, money makes the world go around. That's kind of true in a lot of ways. I mean, money does uphold it upholds business, which dominates a lot of the world. And that's a great way to vote, essentially. It's like, you don't just vote by going to the ballots or whatever, or writing in a piece of mail that has a little checkbox selecting which candidate you want to be mayor or whatever. It also entails your money, because people love money. They've structured entire systems around money, all these little optimized businesses and everything, which are horrifying in their own ways. And I'm starting to just remember just how horrible our systems of, well, I want to say capitalism, but just our general systems of supply and demand, they're horrifying. But that's a great way to vote. It is a genuine way to vote, and it's even on a global scale as well, because these things are interconnected. These trades, like these supply chains, everything is connected, and whenever we create demand for something, it's it's brought forward into the world off of the hard labor of just somebody else who's probably being underpaid at the very least, but also there's genuine concerns of child labor. I don't know about you, but under no circumstances do I want to support, even adjacently or remotely, child labor. I don't want to support that. And of course, this opens up another discussion. There is a deeper problem here, clearly, if something like that can even exist in the first place. Like I don't know, a sugar cane plantation or whatever with like and we hear about these problems, we don't see them face to face, which helps us disassociate from trying to make real change. But I mean, these things are real. So this has to be considered, even if it's extraordinarily weird and overwhelming and like confusing to wrap your head around. I don't blame you. It's hard for me to wrap my head around too half the time. But if you think about it for long enough, it starts to kind of make sense. Like, okay, of course human beings will screw each other over, and get ahead and be a little bit immoral to increase the productivity of their business. Those kinds of things. Just little incentive structures, little things. There's so much to learn about, isn't there? And it's so overwhelming, and oh my god, it's incomprehensible. And like, that's the point I'm trying to make with this video, and it's just, my god. So the next thing is picking an area of work and study to get into that would help the world. I guess a small scale project, and this is what I've been doing. I have a project which is usually linked to whatever channel or profile I'm uploading this video to, but yeah, so there should be that. We can also talk about it as well if you're interested in seeing what I'm up to. But yeah, for me, it's basically been publicly writing about child exploitation prevention. And I have ways for doing that, and I'm very proud with what I've come up with over the years. It's kind of interesting. I won't get into details of that here for now, but also just writing about my overall struggles in life, like my deepest, truest struggles, like this, right? With this video. Those things are important too. And I guess the last thing I wrote here for our actionable steps is maybe just restructuring our lives a little bit. Maybe just making some sacrifices here or there to be more ethical, or maybe just, I don't know, putting ourselves into better environments, better communities that would empower us to make change, because we are up against such horrifying problems. And it's really just as simple as that. Like, I have made such great personal change. I've made so many sacrifices. I have to make more. That's what I'm thinking about. It's like, I have to make more. I haven't made enough, I guess. I mean, as painful as it is to say, sometimes it feels like it's never enough. Like, when is it going to finally be enough? When I starve to death? I don't know. But action has to be taken, and for me, I have changed my life. Like, I have genuinely moved to questionable lifestyles in a lot of ways to ensure that I'm living an ethical and minimalistic and a good life where where I don't contribute to systems that I have reason to believe are exploitative, like even things like taxes. Like I'm exploring other alternatives for working jobs, and I'm very happy that I have the resources to actually do this with minimal risk, right? But I can put myself into a situation where I don't earn enough money to make taxes, so I don't have to pay taxes for the time being. That would, go to the federal level of the United States government to support, obviously, the corruption, right? And whether or not you agree that there is corruption, the point is that if I'm recognizing corruption in the world, I should have the right to opt out. And it's as simple as that. And that is what I want for all of us, is the right to opt the fuck out of tyranny, of injustice. And injustice anywhere is felt everywhere. Quote, "We must widen our circle of compassion to encompass all living things and the whole of nature in its beauty." I feel like everything's connected. And everybody should have enough abundance and enough community support in their life to be able to say no to participating in exploitative bullshit. And it's simple, but of course, as an able-bodied, healthy person who is strong, right? It is my duty and my responsibility in this world and my life purpose to make these things happen, to lead in a way, lead by example, and to just fucking make sure something is done about all this, and to, of course, restructure my life radically, as I have been, to make sure that I'm following in line with my values. Because, like, we all have values. I feel like we all share these kinds of values as well. And it's just, are we going to act on them, or are we going to push them away? Are we going to hide from our own personal convictions? And there's so much to talk about, which is why I have so many other videos, by the way. Like, you just go scroll through the other ones. Like, there's so much to talk about. But I'm so happy because I wasn't able to talk about this before in life, but I finally am. And again, I'm happy with my capabilities in this video to not be completely destroyed by it right now. Like, I feel withdrawn from the evil itself, and I'm getting little glimpses of it, but it's just like a little parasite. It's just a little thief that destroys. But these are the actionable solutions. These are the things that can be done, and it's so empowering to me. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know if anyone's watching this video, but it's so empowering to me. So that's that. I know that this is all just a reminder, right? I know my little checklists won't solve everything, but I'm reminding myself of these things, and anyone else who will listen. I will claw and suffer and just claw through this pain until I make sense of all this, because I want to make sense of it. It drives me nuts, and I just want to make sense of it, and it's as simple as that. Right? So thank you for dealing with this video so far. I know it's kind of a lot. I know it's overwhelming for sure, but I'm trying to approach it peacefully and with wisdom and with calmness, because I have that capability right now. And again, it's the responsibility of strong people, people who are strong right now, to make sure that their gifts of strength are used to help vulnerable people. And that is ultimately what it's all about. So I guess moving on a little bit, maybe I haven't yet fully communicated just how important this all is. I want us to take an actionable step right now, like immediately, preferably, because the biggest lie that we've ever been told is that our small little acts of revolution and like of compassion and just action, right? Our small little actions are nice and all. Like, they're nice and they're cute and everything, but they won't ever really affect anything. They won't affect high levels of abuse. They won't affect these deep-rooted systems. And that's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie that we have, I guess, told ourselves to. I don't know, probably for many different reasons, but I don't know. Maybe to get out of trying to do anything about society. Like, it's bullshit. It's a fucking lie. And I've noticed this to be true in my own life. My brain currently rewards me for doing small little actions, because I can like make videos about it and stuff, and it's just, yeah. Imagine if everybody in the world, acted on their desires to just make a bunch of little small actions to just make the world better. And this all sounds kind of cliche and almost meaningless if I keep reiterating it, but it's a lie. And so I want us to take an actionable step right now, today. So the first thing I want to say about that is engage with me somehow. I mean, you can write a comment, or I'm not looking for engagement necessarily. Like, this isn't about me, right? My content is about the world. It's about like a healthy society. So you don't have to comment to like support my agenda or my personal brand or whatever kind of nonsense, right? You could just email me. You could genuinely just email me if you want to. There should be an email attached to this. Or find me somewhere else, right? Engage with me. And like, let's figure out what to do. Like I know it sounds weird, and it even feels a little bit weird to say, but it's like, fucking engage with me. I don't know. Let's, like, I want something to be done about this, because if you're like me, if you sat through this video, you might be a little bit like me, in that you can benefit from hearing these words and like hearing this encouragement. Like I want someone to talk to me like this. You know what I mean? That's what I mean with this. And so engage with me, or just like, we can talk about it, but also just go, at the very least, just go do something yourself and make change, because we're dealing with something so massive and so horrible and terrifying. It's terrifying, and it requires courage, but these acts of courage from people, they're needed. Like, they're simply necessary in the face of extreme injustice. Like, I guess if you're on the verge of wanting to just do something, whether it's big or small, to make your community better, then let's do it. Let's do it. Like, I'm right alongside with you. I know that this video might be like a little bit parasocial in a way, especially if strangers are watching this. Like, it might be a little bit parasocial, it's like there's like a weird dynamic to it. It's so weird to make videos, of course. And like I don't know how much change I can actually realistically make with just a video. I know that some change can be made with a video. Like I know that there's real impact to be had with videos, which is why I make them, by the way. Right? But yeah, I'm sorry about like the weird social awkwardness of making videos for people online, I guess. Especially these like unedited weird videos where I'm just like in my basement or whatever, just like with a mask. It's like kind of weird now that I think about it. What the fuck? Oh my god. Just wearing a mask in my basement or some shit. I don't know. You don't even know where I am. I'm just fucking somewhere. Oh man. But like ultimately I do find comfort in the idea of it being a little bit parasocial in that like I can wear my mask and I can be almost like just like a little figure who just kind of pops into your life kind of like randomly and then hopefully encourages you to like be adventurous, and then I just disappear. like I don't want to be, I don't want people to like rely on my videos. If I were to ever make content that people would follow consistently, I wouldn't want people to rely on my videos. Of course, I would want them to be strong. Like that's the whole purpose of this. Is like I want people to be strong. I want society to be healthy. And I want us to be able to look courageously in the face of what we're experiencing right now, which from my perspective is pure terror. And of course I've mentioned here and there throughout the video exactly what the terror is, but it is everything. It's everything you can think of that's just being rapidly perpetuated through society, through technological advancements that don't have any checks and balances, through governments and power systems that don't have any checks or balances, through just the evil and selfishness that exists in humans. But I am in a good frame of mind right now, and I recognize the power of a healthy, purpose-filled, good, genuinely motivated human being. And I know that there is something good here, and I will not stop until something changes. I will not stop until society is healthy, I guess, right? So hopefully I've been able to communicate what I need to communicate here. I think I have. I think it's been kind of a rough video to get through. But I'm smiling underneath my little bandana. But yeah, I think there's hope. This was supposed to be a hopeless video. It really was. But I'm happy I had a moment of peace. And I genuinely do want to like engage with people who watch this content, and whether it's just through the video itself or like hopefully inspiring you, or if it's even through contacting me, like I want to see if I can inspire and like start a conversation. And I've set up other things online to hopefully encourage conversation. Like I have like a Discord server and other little projects like that. So just try to get involved. But ultimately, mainly what I want you to do is take some kind of action and realize that your actions matter. So I'll end the video there because I've said everything that I need to say. I mean, thank you for watching. Um, yeah, guess that's it. So long.